Welp, the Boston Celtics appear to have a whip. They've beaten the Dallas Mavericks comfortably in games 1 and 2 of the NBA Finals, but there is still a path the Dallas Mavericks can take to winning game 3 and maybe the rest of the series. Step 1, make their threes. But let me not get ahead of myself. Before we get the video started, please like and subscribe. Comment down below what chance you think the Mavs have of winning this series. Share this video with a friend, and as always, welcome to the Sweatshop. Alright, game 2 of the NBA Finals just wrapped up on Sunday, and it was a good game, but it felt like the Celtics were just bound to come back at some point. But let's not get too far into the video. If you have been living under a rock for the past few days and haven't watched the NBA Finals, first off, what are you doing watching my video instead of the NBA Finals? And second off, I'll give you guys a quick recap of what's gone down so far. Game 1 started off pretty close. The Mavs were actually up a few minutes into the game, but you could just feel the Celtics were gonna pull away. There was one possession early in the game where the Celtics got 5 open looks at the three-point line. They got 4 offensive rebounds, and each offensive rebound led to a wide open three-point shot. And then on the other end, the Mavs were just throwing up heaves and they were happening to go in. Like, you could feel the Celtics were going to pull away. It just wasn't how we expected because Kristaps Porzingis disciplined the entire Mavs roster. And when I say disciplined the entire Mavs roster, I am not exaggerating. Literally every single person in the Mavs lineup got some form of work. Josh Green in the post, turnaround, easy mid-range shot. Luka Doncic, oh, I'll take the foul, 2 free throws, I'll make it, unlike Luka. Jaden Hardy guarding Kristaps in the post for some reason. Kristaps elbows him in the face and proceeds to hit the mid-range shot. Like, he was just unstoppable. On the other end, he had 3 blocks in the first quarter. He almost single-handedly brought the Celtics from down like 3 to up by 17 in the first quarter. And from then on, the Mavs didn't really have a chance. They, or I guess I should say Luka Doncic, brought them back to within 8 points in the third quarter. But then the Celtics went on like a 20-point run by themselves and brought the lead back to 25 or something like that. It wasn't close at all. And I wasn't too worried about this game. There were a few things that had you like, I don't like that. But the Mavs were down by 29 to the Clippers in the first series. They were down by 25 to the Thunder in the second series. They won against the Timberwolves, but overall in Kidd's coaching career in Dallas, he's 1-6. So yes, this loss looked bad, but it's nothing that hasn't happened before. And then game 2 happens, and Luka comes out on a tear. I can't remember what, I think he had 23 in the first half. They were up in the first quarter, but by the time halftime comes around, the Mavs were up by 4, I believe. And if you're a Mavericks fan, you're like, that's cool. But the Celtics were getting a lot of good looks, and they were just missing them. So yeah, the Mavs were up, but you just knew the Celtics were gonna go on a tear and make at least 2 or 3 threes in a row. And then third quarter comes around, and by the time the Celtics took the lead, it really never felt like they were gonna lose once again. The Mavs had a chance to cut the lead to 3 with under a minute left, but the refs missed a call. Celtics win the second game too. So let me start this off by giving the Celtics props. Essentially everybody. Everyone's been lambasting Jason Tatum, but I honestly think he's been playing like fine. Like, he's been playing C- basketball for what we expect from him. The issue is a lot of people expect him to be top 3 player in the league, but I just don't think he's that. For me, he's 5th. I could understand some people saying he's as low as 10th. I just didn't expect him to be a world beater type of player in this series, and he hasn't been. He's been getting looks like he's been a world beater type of player. He's getting a double on his drives, which is really the only big thing that the Mavs are doing to stop him. When he drives to the hoop, he gets a double, so he has to either dump it off or kick it out, and he just hasn't been able to overcome that like you would expect from a player who's at the apex of the league. A Nikola Jokic, a Luka Doncic, like he has been doing this series, a Giannis when he's healthy, etc. So yeah, Tatum's hasn't been playing well, but for what I expect from him, he's been playing fine. And then literally everyone else on the Celtics roster has been playing exceptionally well. Drew Holiday, I believe, is averaging the 2nd most points on the Celtics, 3rd most in the series with 19. Been playing really good defense on Kyrie, even though I don't think he's the only reason why Kyrie hasn't been performing well. He's still been playing exceptionally well as he always does. Been saying exceptionally a lot. Derek White is Derek White. Jaylen Brown has been playing awesome on both ends of the court. He's been a monster. Kristaps Porzingis has been the best version of himself you could expect to be getting off of injury. Al Horford's Al Horford. Peyton Pritchard has been hitting key shots left and right. Sam Hauser was surprisingly good defense. Like, it's been a really good performance from the Celtics, and you can expect more from them because they haven't been hitting their shots at a super high clip just yet. One last thing I'd like to talk about with the Celtics level of play, they have neutralized Dallas's lobs impeccably. I can only remember in this series one lob being completed, and that's the Derrick Jones Jr. lob in game 2, I believe in the 3rd quarter. So yeah, the Celtics have been playing Dallas's bread and butter, essentially, to perfection, and they haven't given up a lot outside of that. Pretty much anything. So yeah, nothing more really to say about the Celtics. Mavs-wise, though, while the Celtics have been playing very well, the Mavs have a lot of room for realistic improvement. Luka Doncic has been playing fine. He's been playing okay. He has not been playing up to the standard that we usually expect from him in the playoffs, or at least the standard we expect from him in this series specifically. I'll say it right now, I had the Mavs winning, and that was mainly because I expected Luka to be apex predator Luka, and he's been playing like fine. He's been playing all right. It does look like he's injured. I saw there was some weird stuff with his chest before the game. But either way, you're in the NBA Finals. We expect you to play at your best. And he just hasn't been. And on the defensive end, he hasn't been terrible, but he's regressed a little bit more towards the mean compared to what we usually expect from Luka defensively. So Luka has to be better. Kyrie Irving, can someone tell me where he has gone? Please. The thing about Kyrie is, yes, he's been getting defended very well. Jrue Holiday, as I said before, is an elite defender. Pound for pound, probably the best defender in the league still. That doesn't negate the fact, though, that Kyrie is still getting looks we expect him to make. In the first game, he was getting a bunch of layups we expect him to make. He just wasn't hitting them. And then the open looks he was getting in the mid-range or at the three-point line, he didn't hit those either. This game, he at least was hitting his contested layups. But in the mid-range and the three-point line, he just wasn't making his shots. And it's starting to get to the point where I'm agreeing with all the hot take mainstream media sensationalists that it maybe is a mental thing with him. And I don't know if there's a scheme thing to change for him, because he's been getting like okay looks. Not crazy good looks, but looks we expect him to hit if he's going to be the second best player on a champion. And he just hasn't been hitting them. And then the rest of the Mavs supporting cast, outside of PJ Washington, who's been playing fine, they've been terrible. The rest of the Mavs supporting cast has hit 4 total three-pointers over the course of both games. 4 total three-pointers. I think they're shooting less than 20% from 3. And these are open looks. 20% from 3 is unsustainable inefficiency. At some point, you're just gonna luck into some of the shots falling. So next question is, how do the Mavs proceed? I'm not even gonna touch the Celtics because I quite honestly think their game plan has been perfect. They've neutralized Luka Doncic, not fully, but to a manageable degree. Like 30, 10, and 5 average is insane for most players. For Luka, that's like a C+ C game. What makes it even crazier is they've neutralized Luka while also neutralizing the lob and corner three-point shot. So yes, the Mavs supporting cast has been getting open 3 looks, but they've been getting them at the top of the key or on the wings, which is further from the hoop and a more difficult shot. And then offensively, the Celtics just haven't hit their shots. Other than that, they've been really good. So I really have nothing to say for the Celtics game plan, things that can be changed. For the Mavs game plan, I fundamentally disagree with what Jason Kidd is doing defensively. As I said before, Jason Tatum is a really good player. I think he's the 5th, maybe 6th, probably 5th best player in the league. Jason Tatum is not going to beat you by himself. The reason this Celtics team is so dominant is because it can come from anybody. Tatum's off. Jaylen Brown, who some people think may be better than Tatum, can still get to the hoop, get to the lane, make his shot. They're both off. Derek White is a good steady hand at the point guard position, and he can make threes consistently. They're both off. 7'4" guy in the post. Oh, and also he's an elite shooter. They're all off. Jrue Holiday has history as being the first or second shot creator on a championship team. And they're also all good passers that all fit together. This team doesn't live or die by Jason Tatum scoring 25 or 30 points. They live or die by getting the ball moving, getting the defense in rotation, and then getting a wide open look. So why are the Dallas Mavericks selling out to stop Jason Tatum every single time he drives? It just doesn't make sense to me. If I were Jason Kidd, I'd be begging Jason Tatum to take every single shot he can. If he scores 30, great. If he scores 40, but my main game plan would be stick to everyone else like white on rice and don't let them get easy drives off the advantage. I can't count how many times Jrue Holiday has gotten an open layup by either cutting or just staying in the dunker spot because the Dallas Mavericks are double teaming Jason Tatum. Don't get me wrong, Jason Tatum can annihilate single coverage. He's more dangerous getting doubled and just kicking it out than he is shooting the ball every single time. So if I were the Mavs, I would completely switch focus from doubling Jason Tatum on the drives to letting Jason Tatum get off. Let him get his and just try your best to negate, maybe not all the other Celtics players because that's difficult as well, but negate some of the ball movement and the off-ball shot creation of everyone else. Just make it a little more difficult to kick out on the drives and move the ball around the perimeter. And offensively, I don't really know what to change. If your players outside of Luka and Kyrie are going to shoot less than 20% from 3 and make a collective 2 to 3 3-pointers again in game 3, then there's really nothing you can do in this day and age offensive scheme-wise to fix that. Like, you're screwed. Continue doing what you're doing. Hopefully some shots start to fall, and that's that. Game 3, I chose the Mavs to win. I obviously think they're gonna win game 3 if that's the case. I think we get a 30. I think Luka has his normal game, but I think all the role players, now that they're at home, they're going to step up again. I think PJ Washington's going to drop 20. I think Kyrie, I don't think he's going to have a great game because Jrue Holiday's still Jrue Holiday, but I think he at least makes his open shots so that he at least has an average Kyrie game. 24 points on decent to good efficiency. I think Derek Lively comes back a little bit. I won't say it's a blowout. I think the Mavs win comfortably by 7 to 12 points. With that, thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. We greatly appreciate it. If you could go down below and like and subscribe to get a little bit more of this content, it helps us greatly. Share the video with a friend to help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Comment down below who you think is going to win game 3, and as always, stay sweaty, ladies and gentlemen.